Good evening, and everyone. I want to welcome you to our discussion this evening. We will get started in just a few minutes. All right, and it's just a minute past 7, and we're almost ready to get started. This is your opportunity to step away from the daily grind and just to bring attention to your inner world. And I hope that you'll walk away from this discussion and demonstration with valuable exercises that will help you feel more grounded. I actually like to use the word integrated between your heart and your mind, and rejuvenated during the course of your journey as a care partner to your loved one. And I want to dedicate this time to anyone who is caring for another. It is one of the most honorable things we can be asked to do in our lifetime. And understandably, it comes with its share of challenges. And with both my professional work and my personal experiences in being a care partner to family members, as well as in my professional role, caring for those with dementia and supporting their care partners, I've come to find that there is such a need to create a sacred space before we enter the important task of caregiving. And there are various ways to create this sacred space for yourself. And one very important manner in which you can do this is by adopting any one of a few different grounding practices that brings you out of the chaos of the mind, that brings you out of this experience of being a floating point of consciousness, especially if you've been at work all day long in front of a computer, for example. And it brings you into greater integration um, with your heart and brings you into, in a way, inhabiting your body. And so let's get started with one of my favorite techniques. All of the energy medicine techniques today that I'll be sharing are thanks to Donna Eden, who has been in the energy medicine field for a very long time and is one of my favorite um, mentors and energy medicine practitioners from whom I have learned so much. So, this first exercise that we're going to do is part of her daily energy routine, and it's called the four thumps. And so, there are various points on our body where, if we lightly tap, we can begin to move stagnant or stuck energy. And in this case, we're going to start with our cheekbones. And we're just going to make some gentle, warm contact here while we take some deep breaths. And there's no set time for which you have to do this. Just make contact with each of these points for a few breaths. I would say 3 to 4 breaths is a lovely way to approach this. Next, we're going to come to the points just under our collarbone, and we're going to gently tap in that location. And as you're doing this, make note of any changes that you're finding within your heart and mind. Are there any emotions that arise for you? And can you feel the gentle effects, rippling effects of the tapping on your body? Next, we're going to come down in the center line to where our thymus is located. And we're going to tap here. Welcome. And if you're just joining us, we're doing a grounding practice right now. And this involves tapping right at our thymus. and it's part of a larger technique called the four thumps. So we take some deeper breaths, and we do this for as long as it feels comfortable. And then we'll shift to coming just underneath our armpits and along either side here at the torso. We're going to take some deep breaths and tap. And so let me do a quick recap of our four thumps exercise. We're going to begin with our cheekbones, and then we go to just under our collarbones, and then we come in the midline to where our thymus is. This is particularly good for strengthening your immune system. And finally, we end with some gentle thumps right under our armpits. And these are particularly good for energy in our spleen. And just as a recap, Donna Eden's energy medicine techniques are grounded in Chinese medicine and the energetic pathways that are described there. And the whole purpose that we're gathering tonight is to honor our care partners by helping them have a space where they can take some time to shine the light of their compassion onto themselves. Each of you, as care partners, works so hard to be present and available and loving with others. And that can understandably begin to sap your own energy and your own joy. And so, this is an opportunity to prepare ourselves by filling our own cup of joy first and then sharing from that overflow. And one of the many things that we can do is to get grounded and feel more integrated between our heart and mind by using some of these practices. So, in addition to the four thumps, one of my other very favorite grounding exercises is known as the butterfly hug. And for anyone that's joining in, feel free to drop a comment in the chat that lets me know where you're joining us from, or you know, how did this particular exercise land on you? And so let's do the butterfly hug right now. It's one of my favorite exercises. And for this, what we're going to do is you're going to bring your hands together at the thumbs, making a beautiful butterfly. And we're gently going to place the thumbs wherever it feels comfortable, just underneath your neck. And let's just be fully present here. And can you feel into where your hands are making warm contact with your neck? And as you're doing this, slowly and at your own pace, begin to raise one hand at a time. Take some deeper breaths here as well. And here you can customize this exercise to what feels good for you. If you need a deeper contact with your body, you can make the pats a little bit deeper. If you're comfortable where you are, do this practice for at least 5 breaths. And you're going to alternate this way. And when you're done, you're just going to switch the hands and bring both hands together to rest on your heart. Feel free to close your eyes for a moment. And now we're going to move past the grounding practices, the energy medicine techniques, into what I like to think of as emotional hygiene. And I really believe in our society, this is a lost art in many ways. And what I mean by that is emotional hygiene is similar in a way to emotional intelligence, in that you want to be able to understand and acknowledge the validity of your emotions and what's going on inside you, even if you are in, let's say, an environment or with a loved one who may not fully grasp or understand what's going on for you. Rather than suppressing or denying those emotions, you want to honor your emotional experience. And many of us know what it feels like to be a care partner to someone who, let's just say, was not particularly kind to us at an earlier point in our life. And yet, this is our responsibility. And so, how can you navigate so that you're creating a safe psychological space for yourself, emotional space for yourself, before you have to interact with this individual? And this might sound funny, but one of my favorite things to do, especially in the holidays, when spending time with large groups of people, is I love to do emotional freedom tapping technique, or EFT tapping technique. And sometimes I'll find myself doing it at a red light. And I have my favorite EFT tapping scripts. There are so many of them that are available free of charge, of course, on YouTube. And if you just want to note down a few, some of them are around the idea of self love. The ones that I think make me cry very healing tears are the ones that have you accept yourself just the way you are. And another one of my favorites in scripts is to let ourselves have an amazing day, to expect miracles in our life. And so emotional hygiene will be a very protective way in which you can take care of your emotional needs, acknowledge maybe the hurt or the anger or some other emotion that you might like to suppress. Just gently acknowledge that it's there and then move through it, rather than ignoring it and having it balloon out of control later. So I'll let you look some of those EFT tapping scripts on your own. And one of the great things is that for the EFT tapping practices as well, the points that we're making contact on are typically the ones in our body where we tend to hold negative emotions. And the scripts will typically start by having you acknowledge the negative emotions, and then you do another sequence, and then you tap in some positives. And here I just want to pause for a moment. I don't know if anyone has a comment that they want to drop in the chat about how they're feeling today. Are you looking forward to the holidays? Um, I'm just grateful to be able to have this time together. I just want to share another energy medicine technique here that is one of my favorites to um, bring a sense of coherence again if I find myself in a challenging situation, and if I can't get away to a separate room or a separate space. And this exercise is called a hookup, and I'll stand to demonstrate this. So you want to put your middle finger of one hand at your navel, and then the middle finger of the other hand makes gentle contact with the point between your eyebrows. And you just want to make warm contact here for a few breaths. And if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed by something, this can begin to bring some peace to you. And while we're talking on this topic, I also just want to share a couple of favorites that I have in the inevitable moments that will come up as a care partner where there's mental or emotional overwhelm that you might be feeling. Um, One thing that you can do, which is about speaking directly to your fight or flight response, is using a technique called the triple warmer smoothie. I know it sounds funny. It's a term that Donna Eden has shared about this technique, and it's the idea that we have many different kinds of meridians along which energy courses through our body. And we know this at least scientifically from the standpoint of the of nerves and nerve plexuses that run throughout our body. And in this case, the triple warmer smoothie is all about tracing this triple warmer meridian in such a way that it soothes the fight or flight response. And we know that we won't be able to reclaim any calm or peace until we can do that. So let's do this exercise together, the triple warmer smoothie. And it just begins at your forehead. You want to gently bring your hands around to either side of the forehead and gently bring them back behind your ears, down your neck, and notice that you're coming along the sides where the vagus nerve is located. And so this acts to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. And then you can bring your hands down to where they cross at the heart. And if you need a deeper touch here, let's do it together with a slightly deeper touch while you're taking some deep breaths, smoothing your fingers behind your ears and gently, gently coming down either side of the neck, coming down to the heart. And I just want to read a couple of comments here. Thank you for joining us. Loving this, tapping together. And thank you for teaching us a different way to start helping our body and mind. Thank you for joining in. And finally, I just want to leave you with some ideas about how you can build your capacity for joy, because I believe that this is maybe one of the biggest challenges that a care partner has, is how to remain as the main character in your own life while simultaneously caring for another. And often the instinct or our fight or flight mind will tell us that we only have time to care for the other person, and it will somehow save us minutes in the day if we're not paying attention to our needs. However, if we can just remind ourselves that we are deserving of our own love and compassion, that is going to be a wonderful way for us to actually be acting as a care partner to someone. And what have found works best for many, many people, certainly the ones that I've served over the years, is to do something creative. It could be something related to creating art or dance or music, but that act of creation, doing something creative, it could be creative writing or journaling as well. When you're able to do that, it feeds joy back into us. And when your cup of joy is full, then you can give from it to someone else. And I think maybe the most powerful reminder that I can give to you as a care partner is to know that your best will look very different from one day to the next. And so, with that, I just want to again thank you for joining in and I plan to offer a few more of these lives just to share these techniques that I find just so helpful, and ones that can bring some integration and grounding and joy. And I hope that you all have a wonderful holiday season. And before we leave, I just want to bring this sacred space to a close by shining the light of your compassion onto yourself. And so, if you can do this with me, it's a self hug. We're just going to put our arms around ourselves, and with our eyes closed, to just gather all the light that you share with others and turn that beautiful, powerful, golden light of compassion onto yourself just for a moment. We're learning here how to be self full rather than selfish. When you're able to feel this light of compassion reach every cell in your body, you're able to acknowledge what a wonderful, amazing human being you are, and that you're most deserving of your own compassion. And when you can do that, that joy will become available to the person you care for. And with that, just warmly bring your hands to your heart. And I want to thank you again for joining me. And I hope to see you again in the new year. Bye for now.